Thanks for listening to Middle Aged and Mediocre. I'm Cash.
I'm Joel.
And we are a podcast about all things strange and unusual, death and UFOs, and other creepy,
Cults,
weird, random
ghosts.
stories. There you go.
Yeah. No, I'm just naming things in the room.
Oh my God.
There's a cult of ghosts. Ray Gun Radio presents
Middle Aged and Mediocre. A mother and her two daughters are found dead in their home on Christmas Day in 2002. It doesn't take police long to connect some dots and arrest someone very close to the victims for their murders. This story is a rough one. It involves sexual assault of minors and some really dark discoveries. So just a little bit of a warning right up front. Fortunately, or as fortunate as it can be in this case, I guess, there are no graphic details of the sexual assault to cover, so you're not going to have to hear any of that. Still just wanted to give a warning up front. This is a story of Ernest Wholaver Jr. and the tragic crimes he committed on Christmas Eve 2002. My name is Cash. That is...
Hi, I'm Joel.
That is Joel. We are...
Pointed right at me.
Pointed right at you. You're the only one in the room. So when I said that is, had to be you.
Me.
We are middle-aged and mediocre.
Clearly.
So yeah, with that little bit of a warning up front, kind of want to go over kind of what this podcast is real fast to any new listeners out there. We do talk about murder quite often.
Yeah.
Pretty awful,
Last week.
horrible murders, and but we sandwich it with some fun at the beginning and then fun at the end. And if that's not, your thing, you don't think those two should be combined, like, we get it.
Yeah.
But I've listened to a lot
Think of it as a wrap if you want instead of a sandwich.
Yes, a hero,
Yeah.
a gyro,
Someone's against sandwiches.
a panini.
There you go.
Yeah, I've listened to like some true crime podcasts where it's just like, here's the details. I'm going to read this in a very monotone voice on the night of December. So,
Yeah.
you're just like, yeah, okay.
I
Like,
tried to listen to some of those today. I didn't go as well.
our style is more of you're hanging out with us, and we just happen to talk about some awful shit for a little bit in between the fun.
Yeah.
So that's what we are. If you're down for that, please stick around. Check out the episode. We hope you'll like it. For those of you who are already familiar with us, hello.
I thought you were going to say for those of you who aren't down with that, fuck
We
off.
got 2 words for you.
I'm sorry.
We're sorry. Yeah, so what's going on, man? This is, we are recording this December 18th, 2020.
Friday.
Friday.
Week until Christmas.
Week until Christmas.
Get fried day.
Okay. Christmas is next week.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel like it.
No.
I mean, it is snowing here. That's cool. Like, we got some snow. Feels wintry.
Yeah.
There's been a
Little bit
couple
ice.
years recently where we haven't had like snow this
yeah.
time of year.
And we'll see. Who knows what next week will look like.
Could
be
be
60 degrees again.
Could have a tornado
Just the MOV.
or a hurricane.
Yep. Weather be changing.
Weather be changing. I think a couple years ago, I remember on Christmas Eve, I was at my grandma's and it was 85, 90 degrees and sunny. I was sweating while I was outside, like taking down her like Christmas, or doing something with her Christmas decorations. Yeah, stupid.
The MOV.
Yeah, so what's been going on, man? It's been a week. Last week we talked about some pretty awful stuff.
Yeah, really terrible.
Jump back into the murder game.
I was like, it's got to be better this week.
It's not.
Doesn't sound like it.
It's not. We're going to keep that dark train rolling.
I hope it doesn't ruin my association of Ernest Saves Christmas.
I would never do
This
that.
is like the opposite. Ernest ruins Christmas.
Is this guy...
The guy's name's Ernest.
Ernest. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Ernest. I think it's... So, I don't know if it's Wholaver or it's spelled... So it's probably Wholaver or Wholaver. I don't know. It's spelled Wholaver.
Wholaver. I don't know.
Wholaver? That's probably it. Ernest Wholaver Jr. is what I believe this guy's name is. So it's not Ernest. He does not save Christmas.
No.
He makes Christmas awful.
Ruins it. Sounds like it.
Now that you say that, though, I hate associating this with that movie. Ernest P. Worrell is...
Know what I mean, Vern?
You know what I mean, Vern? He is a true American hero.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, we love you. We love you, Ernest. Okay.
He dead. He dead, too.
Man, why you gotta bring it down? What's his real name?
I don't know. Ernest.
Ernest,
His friends call him Ernest. That's what I call him.
can't believe I feel real bad right now.
Yeah.
I feel terrible about this.
Oh, Jim Varney?
Jim Varney.
I
Thank
did
you. Save me from
I
Googling.
just wanted you to feel bad for a little bit first.
You can always go to Rutland, Ohio and see Jim Varney Park.
Really?
Nope.
Oh.
It looks like it, though. When you drive by the sign, we thought it said Jim Varney Park.
Oh.
And we were like, oh, my God, it's Ernest's park. Why is it here? And it wasn't.
I was ready to go.
Yeah. All right. So.
Shut her down. Go to that place.
Some weird stuff has been going on in my life.
Yeah?
I posted something on Twitter about it. Had to steal back my own vehicle.
Your old truck, right?
My old truck. I had to steal it back.
Mr. Two Truck?
I've been trying to get rid of the goddamn thing.
So well, it sounds like you did. Where's the problem?
Well, so okay.
Either you try to get rid of it or you steal it back.
So the truck I had for a long time was a '98 Dodge Dakota. Bought it off some dudes that use it on just for farm use. I drove it for a while. It was a good truck, but it was held up. It was held together by bungee cords.
Yep.
Literally, in places.
You had to slam it really hard.
The window was no longer working. It was missing the inside door panel of the driver's side. It was a lot, but I loved it. I can get a lot of usage out of most things. So
had some good stickers on it.
Had some real good stickers on it. So I finally got a new vehicle.
Yep.
They're a couple months ago.
Got the stepdad mobile.
Yes, it houses 26 people in it. But this truck, so I needed to get. So our buddy Tim opened a gym a few years back. And I helped him open it by taking out a loan. Used my truck as collateral on this loan, even though they never should have done that deal.
Yeah.
Because my truck, I only paid like $2,800, $3,000 for it, and they gave me a $5,000 loan.
It's not worth that.
It's not worth that.
Yeah.
And they knew that after they did it. And I lost my job a couple years ago at some point. Loan never got paid back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but they never came and got the truck because they were like, "What the fuck are we gonna do with this thing?" So, anyways, so I don't exactly know who has the title. I don't have the title anymore because I had to give them the title. But I don't know if they ever I don't know if it goes to their name.
Yeah, if they sold it to another collection agency.
The dead is in another collections agency because they call me a lot.
Oh, okay.
And I had to block the number.
You become friends with them.
They text me all the time. It's getting ridiculous. Little clingy.
Yeah.
I think a little clingy.
It's like they're not getting their money.
It's like they don't get the message. I don't want anything to do with them. I'm not into them. You know what I mean? It's not me. It's them.
Yeah.
So
you don't even want to be friends.
I got to ghost them.
Yeah.
But so this truck, I need to get rid of it, but I can't sell it. I don't have the lease. So a couple family members of mine, I won't say names. I won't go into too much detail on that.
Okay.
They wanted it. Many years back, I had my very first car was this little shitty Toyota Corolla, and when I got something better. We gave these family members this car, and they were supposed to go get the name, go put it in their name, whatever.
Make it all legal.
Make it legal.
Official.
A couple months after we gave it to them, my license is suspended because they got pulled over for a speeding ticket, never paid it. Car was still in my name.
Oh, they got you.
So there was a big mess.
Yeah.
So I had to go, whatever. So here we are, years later. They want this truck, but they say we're not going to drive it. We just want to take it down to the farm we have. We want to use it to drive through the mud. We're going to chop off the back end of it and do this, whatever. So myself and my mom, we talk about this. We go back and forth whether we should do this or not. Pros and cons. Can we trust them to do the right thing with this shit? Finally, we decide, yeah, we'll let them have. We explicitly say over and over and over again, you cannot drive this truck unless it is on this farm.
Yeah.
That is it.
Not for road.
Not for the road.
You need to get the spray paint farm use on
yes,
it.
All that. So that was, so they came and got it. a little over a week ago.
Did you hug it?
I did not. They came and got it a little over a week ago. I wasn't even here when they got it.
Yeah. It's easier that way.
Before Monday morning, I get a text from my mom, or a call from my mom. Some random dude named Dale has the truck, and is just out and about. Like he has it now, and he's driving it.
Dale?
Some dude named Dale.
Oh wow! You'd never want to get mixed up with a dude named Dale.
Ain't been a good Dale since old number 3. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
God rest your merry soul, Dale.
Dale.
Number 3, the Intimidator.
Yep.
So we're like, I was pissed.
Yeah.
So like, I leave work.
That wasn't the agreement.
I tell my boss, I was like,
you're a man of honor.
I gotta go.
Yeah.
I was like, I gotta deal with some shit, and I was like, hopefully I don't end up in jail.
I gotta kill Adele.
I gotta kill a Dale.
A Dale?
So
the singer? That's not what we said.
We're told that the truck is on this one street. We drive up and down, can't find it. Get a hold of the family member, and he's basically, I don't know, I'm real sick right now. Like, I don't want to deal with this. Like, don't give a shit.
You're like, okay, well, just call me when you have time.
Like,
thanks.
Do not give a shit about how you feel right now. So then we find out it's in Williamstown. So we get Dale's number. And we talk with Dale, and he's like, I already got my insurance transferred over to it, which is bullshit.
What the hell?
Like, no, you didn't.
Yeah.
And we're like, we don't care. We don't care. Bring this truck back. Like, no, you should not. It's not for you.
Yeah.
It was not for my family member to give you.
It's for road.
It's for the farm
use.
So,
unless you're a donkey, Dale.
Key thing to remember about Dale is just a few weeks ago or a couple months ago, he got super, super high on something and wrecked his truck into a telephone pole and totaled it.
Oh.
So Dale's not the most reliable dude or the most trustworthy, and he's basically a drug dealer who's been in Florida and Kentucky, been in a lot of legal trouble, has a history, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, well, you know what? There's a real good chance Dale fucking kills somebody in my truck. You know?
Yeah.
Like, if dumbass can't do drugs and drive safely, he can...
Who knows what he's capable of?
Who knows? And then it's going to come back on me.
Yeah.
So he's, we're telling him, hey, bring the goddamn truck back. Well, I got COVID. We don't care.
Yeah.
Bring the fucking truck back.
Yeah.
Don't give a shit.
Yeah.
He just starts ignoring us then. So next day, I leave work early again. Fucking dumping the snow down. This is Wednesday.
Yeah,
Day
it was.
snowed. We go to Williamstown. Drive all around Williamstown.
Oh, my God.
Don't know where the fuck this thing is. Another family member who knows about the situation calls, and he's like, hey, I'm looking at your truck right now.
Oh.
I decided to come out here and start looking for it because I kind of know. He's like, I kind of knew the area he was in.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, awesome. We're right here, near there. Be there in a second. He's like, okay, I'm going to kind of park down the street a little bit. He's like, if anything, I got your back. Whatever.
And this is you and your mom?
This is me and my mom in my mom's car. So we see the truck. It's parked in this guy's driveway. And I'm like, all right, I got a spare key, but I don't have the keys. So I was like, I'm going to go up to this door, try to get the keys. So as I'm walking towards the door, I realized, man, it is real dark in that house. I can't see inside the house. It seems sketchy. Like, everything about it seems sketchy.
As soon as you said Dale, it seems
exactly,
sketchy.
man.
You're just
again, old Dale has a shady history in Florida, shady history in Kentucky.
Honestly, if you want to drive that truck, you're shady.
At this point,
I've been in that truck.
99% chance that the reason he had the truck is because it was traded to him for meth by my family.
Yeah.
That's probably what happened. So, I'm like, fuck this. I got the spare key. And I'm like looking, and the way the front door with the little porch and then my truck is, at any second, because I can't see in the house. So I don't know if he can see me. I don't know if he knows.
He could have all the lights off just staring out the window.
Well, I'd already tried to call and text him because I was like, hey, we're in Williamstown. Where the fuck are you? Where's this truck? So I was like, he could be looking out this window right now. I can't see in. He could easily step out on this porch, 2 shots, and I'm done. Like, he's got the high ground on me. So I was like, fuck it.
You're on his property.
I'm on his property.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody's property.
So I'm just like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Jump in the truck, spare key, boom, hit the turn it on, put it in reverse, hear a real loud dinging.
Yeah.
Look down, it's empty. No gas.
Oh.
So I just put it in fucking neutral, coast it down, kick it to drive, hit the gas as hard as I can to give it a little bit of a boost.
Whatever fumes are there.
And I basically roll into a gas station a little bit down the... But yeah. So there for like those few seconds, real big adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
Of like, all right, that door swings open. I don't know what I'm going to do. I had a knife in my pocket. Like I had my hand on it.
Don't take a knife to a gunfight.
Didn't have a gun, man. I had that Nerf gun.
Yeah.
So yeah, got it back though.
Oh.
Put it somewhere not here. And in a few days it'll be taken to a crusher. And it'll be gone forever.
Ooh, we get to watch that?
Probably not. There's some dude that's going to do it.
Is he buying it off of you?
I told him he could have whatever they're going to give him at the junkyard.
All right.
So he's cool with that. Yeah. So yeah, that's definitely could have died. Definitely could have got shot at.
That's sketchy, man.
Definitely could have had an altercation. Yeah. Which, if Dale would have came out unarmed or even like with a knife, I'd have murdered Dale.
Yeah.
Like I was in that mind frame where I was like, I'm gonna hurt Dale.
Around with this shit.
Hurting Dale bad.
Damn.
I want to hurt my family member that did this.
Do you think you'll learn this time and not help your family?
Yep. Yeah. I already told my mom that this particular person is dead to me. Yeah. Like, they've had so many. They fucked up so much throughout life.
Yeah.
And my mom has went above and beyond for them. Like over the past few years,
to give them another vehicle.
Well, like not even just that. Like just the stuff she's done for them over the past few years. It's been ridiculous. I would never do it, and she gets like zero appreciation. Yeah. She gets taken advantage of. So yeah, like
bad.
Yeah. So
for weed.
Except for that, man.
Yeah,
except for the psychedelics. Except for the fun stuff.
Man, Dale was just smoking weed. You could have gone in there, packed a peace pipe.
We could have
give you the truck.
We could have sat in the truck and did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
But no, man. He's got to get into that. I mean, his name's Dale.
Yeah, his name's Dale.
Again, after number 3, never been a good Dale.
What about Junior?
He is Dale Jr. though. Yeah. Like,
and he by proxy.
I don't even.
He was grandfathered in.
I think of him more as like a Scott. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when I see him and he talks, I was like, that's a real Scott.
A Taylor or something. Scott Taylor. Scott.
Scott Taylor Earnhardt.
Yeah, there we go.
STE.
Oh, there goes one endorsement opportunity.
Man, we could have had Dale Jr.'s endorsement. So that's my story.
I'm glad you didn't get shot and you got your truck back in there.
Yeah, and then like you were in the truck. It doesn't run the best.
What?
And I don't remember so I've had my new vehicle for a couple months now. So I don't know if the way the truck sounded when I was in it is just the way it used to sound.
It sounded awful.
Okay, so maybe it was just still that.
I could hear you like as soon as you left your street, I'd hear you come to my apartment.
Dude, like I said, I can get a lot of use out of something. Like I almost literally drove it till the wheels fell off.
Yeah.
Like
you drove it.
I wear shoes for years. Like I'm not I don't need nice things. So
you got one now. Your new car is really nice.
But
so don't let Dale near it. What if Dale's listening right now? What do you have to say to Dale?
Well, I honestly because he knows where we live. Because he was here not inside the house, but he was here to drop this family person off once. So like I the past couple of days I've been like kind of leery of like if I hear a vehicle outside and a car door, I'm like kind of checking. Yeah. Not that I think he'd be that dumb.
Yeah.
So, but
he is Dale.
But he does have the keys to the truck.
Oh yeah.
Which is like I said, the truck's not here.
Yeah.
So he doesn't know you're not gonna find it.
But you're still a little bit on Dale alert.
A little bit.
All
bit. So when you walked in, I had the Nerf gun pointed at you just in case.
I know. I pissed myself.
You did.
I do that every time.
Smells awful.
Well, I mean, you're welcome. You don't have COVID. You can smell. Let's see if you can taste.
I'm not going to do that.
Open up.
Okay, so before we get into the main story, I got a question of the week for you, Joel.
All right.
Got the random question of the week for you, and I'm going to pick the category for you this time. We're using, I'm losing my voice. We're using an app called Poddex, PODDECKS. And you can check it out. You can download the app, Poddex. We're not sponsored by them. We'd like to be.
Yeah.
But they kind of give you some cards, conversation starters with some questions. And they got random categories you can go on their app, and you can look at some of the cards for free if you don't want to buy the decks. So I'm using those right now. And I'm going to go with a Would You Rather.
All right.
Actually, you know what? I just saw this category. I'm going to go with it instead. Holiday traditions. It's that time of the year. So, the random question of the week. It's not going to be that one because you do not celebrate Hanukkah, I don't think. Random question of the week. Joel, can you name all of the reindeer?
Rudolph.
Okay.
Comet.
Okay.
Comet one.
I'm pretty. Hold on. I'm getting the list. I'm getting the list right now. Reindeer names.
Oh man. I probably can't.
What?
My daughter could.
Okay. Here we go. Okay, I got them. All right. So you said
Rudolph.
You said Rudolph.
Comet.
That's 2. There's 7 more.
Juicy.
Nope. What else you got though?
Jose.
Okay, Juicy. Okay, so Rudolph, Comet.
Yeah.
Juicy.
Yeah.
Jose.
Okay.
5 more.
5 more.
5 more.
Santa was a greedy fuck, man. Biscuit.
Okay, 4 more. I like the names though.
Sunshine.
We got Rudolph, Comet, Juicy, Jose, Biscuit, and Sunshine.
Yeah.
3 more.
All right, Frank.
Frank. Frank's a little weird.
I already said Comet, right?
But there could be
Jupiter.
Could be 2 comets.
Is there Jupiter?
A Jupiter.
All right, and Sleepy.
Yep.
You
got 2 right.
How close was it?
You got 2.
Oh man.
The reindeer, of course, are
Dixon.
close. That's way closer.
Okay.
They are
Connor?
On Dasher,
on
Dancer,
Dancer,
on Prancer and Vixen,
oh Vixen,
on Comet, on Cupid,
there's a Cupid,
on Donner and Blitzen, and then Rudolph. You
Okay.
fucking red-nosed weirdo. You do some shit too.
There's a Cupid.
There's a
Reindeer?
Cupid. I like yours though. I like Jose and Juicy a lot.
I like Jose Reindeer.
Yeah, I like though to think that maybe there's just 2 comets. Just 2 comets showed up, and they're just like, well, all right. We got
Comet
regular
A.
comet and weird comet.
Yeah, Comet B.
Yeah, close. You got 2.
Man,
Not very Christmassy of you.
no. It's almost like I don't give a fuck.
Almost.
Almost.
I don't understand why you wouldn't.
I'm gonna start studying up though, and I'll know them reindeer. I probably couldn't name back 4 of them right now.
I will ask you again next week, and I bet you won't even get 2.
I'll forget the ones I got.
You'll know Rudolph.
Yeah, everyone knows Rudolph.
What's your just makes me think of the Rudolph the animated thing that's on every year.
Oh yeah.
What's your favorite Christmas traditional movie? Not like
probably Christmas Story.
A Christmas Story?
Yeah, that's always been it for me. I haven't watched it probably the last 10, 15 years, but like just growing up, I watched that every year, and
I just watched Charlie Brown's Christmas the other day again. Pretty good. Pretty
I don't
good.
remember anything
Holds
about
up.
that.
Little shitty tree that he goes and gets.
See, I know about the Charlie Brown Christmas tree because it's a. But yeah, I guess that would be from the movie.
That would be from the movie. And there's so I wonder if so that was in 1960 something is when that came out. And Lucy sends Charlie to get a tree and tells him to get an aluminum one. So where they go to get him and Linus go to get the tree, and they got a bunch of aluminum trees, and then he sees a little shitty real one.
Yeah.
Were aluminum Christmas trees a thing? You were alive in the 60s.
In the 60s. But I was already so old.
You were already
I was out of the game.
out of the tree game.
I don't know. Maybe because of the war they had to use aluminum.
We're gonna go with that.
That doesn't make sense.
We're gonna go with that from now on, everybody. You let people know. Hey, did you know that back in the 60s, because of the war, people had to use aluminum Christmas
they
trees?
needed the real trees in the war.
It's true. Man, you were right about that.
That's why they're called tree-hugging hippies. They were against the war, and they didn't want the trees to go to war.
And they hugged.
And they hugged them to try to keep them
trees.
here.
All right. I'm going to go with it.
Boom.
I'm going to say all that's factual. You learned something on this podcast.
It's history.
All right. You ready to get into the bad stuff?
Yeah.
All right. So this week.
Ernest ruins Christmas.
How'd you say his name's probably pronounced?
Who? What? Spell it again.
Wholaver.
Wholaver.
Yep. Well, that's what we're going to go with.
Yeah, we can just call him Ernest.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Ernest Wholaver Jr. All right. So, this takes place in Middletown, Pennsylvania. And again, it takes place in 2002.
Yeah, it's fairly recent.
Yeah.
19 years.
So, December 24th, 2002, Jean Wholaver, age 43, and her two daughters, Elizabeth, age 15, who went by the nickname of Izzy, and then Victoria, age 20, along with Victoria's 9-month-old little girl, Madison, were supposed to be arriving at Jean's parents' home for Christmas Eve.
Hate it already.
They were supposed to be, in her parents' home's in Johnstown, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
About a 2.5-hour drive. And this is a annual tradition. Jean and the kids would show up. Used to, her husband Ernest would come with them. And they'd always go to her parent, Joe and Mary's house the night before the Christmas for dinner.
It's called Christmas Eve.
It's called Christmas Eve. They would stay the night. In the morning, Christmas morning, open gifts.
Yeah.
So this year, it was going to be Jean, and it was just going to be the Jean and the girls. Because her and Ernest had separated after 20 years of marriage.
Ooh, 20 years.
And they didn't show up at the parents' house.
So is Ernest the dad to the girls?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ernest is Izzy
Victoria and Izzy is...
and Victoria's
okay.
dad. And then Madison is Victoria's little girl, 9-month-old little girl.
Grandpa Ernest.
So they didn't show up. Jean's mother gets pretty worried. She calls the police. She asks, hey, any accidents on the highway?
Yeah.
You guys hear anything? No, nothing's been going on. She calls the Middletown police to see if they'll...
They're like, yeah, Grandma got ran over by a reindeer. We're pretty busy, lady.
We got a lot of reindeer.
He's like, no, seriously,
tonight.
have you heard anything about...
Fucking Juicy ran over Grandma. So she calls the Middletown police, see if they can go to a welfare check.
Uh-huh.
And the Middletown police is basically like, hey, it is Christmas Eve. A lot of people traveling. Bad weather.
Yeah.
Snowy. Maybe wait, see if they make it. Like, maybe they just got delayed because of the weather. If they're not there by the morning...
Another outstanding police force, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Not to knock the police, but...
I mean, though, it is kind of logical.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, it's bad weather, travel.
It's 2.5-hour drive.
Yeah, so, maybe they're just running late. So, they say, hey, if they're not there by morning, give us a call.
By morning.
So they're not there. Christmas morning shows up. They're not there. So she calls back Middletown Police Department once again, says, hey, they still haven't made it. Can you please go check? So they go check. So Christmas, December 25th, 2002, 7 a.m., Sergeant Robert Givler of the Middletown Police Department had just came on duty. He gets contacted by dispatch.
They had to clean up and get to work.
Go check out the home of Jean Wholaver. Why would you do that? Why?
I didn't want to sound dumb.
You did, though.
Oh, okay.
You did.
Sorry.
When the officer shows up, he pulls up to the house. Everything looks fine. Nothing looks weird. He knocks on the front door, rings the doorbell.
Steals the truck.
What truck?
That's my truck.
Yeah. He really can't see much going on, though. So he goes around to the back of the house, and he notices that the windows in the garage door have been broken out.
Oh.
So he grabs the garage door, opens it, goes on in. Family car still in the garage, so they never left. Or so it seems, He knocks on the door that leads in from the garage.
It's like an attached garage.
Yeah. Door opens as he knocks on it, like in every horror movie ever made.
So no one's there, just him knocking.
Yeah, so he knocks.
Yeah.
He goes on it. He says, hey, I'm this dude from here. I'm coming in. Nobody responds. So he goes into the little hallway as soon as he enters the doorway, or enters the door, walks through the kitchen, and there he sees a female body lying on the floor.
Oh, no.
Cold to the touch. Definitely dead.
Yeah, definitely.
So
Wow.
he calls for backup, and officers show up. Backup shows up, but they're still waiting for detectives. So while that's going on, they're just sweeping the scene, making sure, see if there's anybody else, making sure nobody's...
Trying not to disturb too much, but just
making sure no
one
one's
in
still
the house.
there.
Yeah.
They clear the bottom floor, and as they do that, they hear noises coming from upstairs. So they make their way upstairs, guns drawn, basically, guns at their side, ready to go.
Well, yeah.
Oh, this is bad. They get to the top of the stairs. They see another female victim dead, with a baby, still alive, in her arms, like hanging onto her shirt.
So Victoria.
Yeah, and so officers get the baby, take it downstairs, got to the ambulance. They find out the baby, Madison, the baby, was okay, didn't have any injuries.
9 months old.
Yeah, had suffered from dehydration though, because they're pretty sure she'd been in the house for at least 30 hours.
Wow.
Just on her own, like, you know.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, then they find a third female victim.
My kid's 18 now.
Yeah.
Madison.
Yeah.
Almost 19.
They find a third victim laying across the bed in the bedroom at the end of the hall. So all three women, Jean,
Elizabeth,
Izzy, and Victoria. All three women have been shot dead with a single shot from a small caliber weapon. Jean had been shot in the head and was found. She was the first one found in the kitchen. Police believe that she was probably making her morning coffee around like 4 a.m., getting ready for the day.
Christmas,
really
early Christmas Eve.
Yeah. Killer seemed like they snuck up, fired a single shot. The door's been doing that, and it's creepy as shit.
Yeah,
the door's been opening on its own outside. Did it early before you got here, and I was like, Dale? Every time you say Dale, by the way, I think you say Adele.
Adele.
And I'm very confused for a split second. I'm like,
right.
What's Adele doing? I mean, I know what you're saying, though. So, yeah, they think she was making her morning coffee. Killer snuck up. Boom. Single shot. Yeah. And the reason I think the coffee thing is because the coffee filter was, like, laying right there. Like, whatever.
She spelled out, almost had my morning coffee with blood.
Don't even shoot me till I've had my morning coffee. We shouldn't be making those kind of jokes. That's what this show is, and we apologize, but I had to do it. It was there, and I took it.
Oh, man.
The second victim was a 20-year-old, Victoria, shot the top of her head. She was the one holding the baby, of course, her baby. They assume that she had kind of like crouched over to protect the baby.
Yeah.
Shot in the head, top of the head.
I heard the gunshot, grabbed the baby, and
yeah. Izzy
made his way upstairs.
Izzy was the last one found. She was the one laying on the bed, had a single gunshot wound to her left eye. And the shot was definitely up close because there were burn marks around the eye.
Wow.
And her hand was burned from where she had grabbed the barrel.
Wow.
So, like, gun was put in her eye.
Yeah.
She grabs it. Boom. No weapon was found in the house. So, they start looking around the crime scene. They find out that at the back of the house, the wires to the phone lines have been cut. This is 2002.
And the garage window was broken into.
Yeah. So nobody could have called for help. Like, if they had phones, it would have been like, 2002. Like, I don't even know what would have been.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't get in. I didn't even have a cell phone for a long time. But
no, I didn't either. I'm sure some sort of cell phone exists. I mean,
they wouldn't have been good. The coverage isn't great. Who knows? Nobody. Not everybody had.
They weren't. Yeah, they weren't as prominent as they are right now.
So you get your house phone cut, you're screwed.
Yeah.
So, as usual with these kind of things, they start looking at who's closest to the victims first.
Sure.
And and then so like you said, like another example of like kind of shitty cops, like we get a lot on this show.
Mm-hmm.
These guys weren't bad.
Yeah.
So they kind of like immediately identify that Jean and Ernest had separated, and the reason they separated is because both Victoria and Izzy had made allegations in the summer of 2002 that their father was molesting them. And Victoria had been keeping this secret for years, actually, and she had only not said anything out of the hope that if she stayed quiet and let this happen, wouldn't do it to Izzy.
Yeah.
So she found out that it was happening to Izzy too, and she called her aunt and was like hysterical and was like saying like, it's happening to Izzy, it's happening to Izzy. He promised it wouldn't happen to her. It's Dad. He's doing this to us.
Yeah.
So that's when, like, aunt gets a hold of the mom. Whatever. Marriage is over.
Yeah.
So, police immediately look into Ernest. And when this happens, Jean filed charges. Or, the charges were filed. She filed for it's called a protection from abuse, PFA. And he had to vacate the home. Mm-hmm. And he wasn't allowed near them.
Sure.
And he was on bail, which, probably don't even put the guy on bail.
Yeah.
I know they're allegations, and you got to make sure they're true, but maybe don't put the guy on bail. He'd been let out in July of 2002 on a $100,000 bail pending a trial. The trial was going to be held in January 2003.
Oh, yeah.
And he actually moved back into his parents' home a few out, like 2 or 3 hours away.
Yeah.
Cambria County, a little bit of ways away. So yeah, they go. It's 3 hours. So detectives travel 3 hours to question him. They bring him into the local police station. His brother brings him, Scott Wholaver. He brings him to the police station. Ernest says, yeah, hey, I heard about those murders, but I don't know who could have done it. Like,
yeah, I was here.
He has an alibi. Says that him and his brother Scott were out spotting deer and coyote up in the mountains.
There's one. What does that mean, spotting deer?
So you go. You have a.
There's another one.
It's literally like you have a big spotlight,
and
you just go and spotlight. It's like you poaching, basically.
Oh, so they do kill it still?
Yeah,
it's just an easier way to.
Like it's illegal in most places.
It's another coward move.
Yeah,
sounds like.
You pretty much you go down back roads, like around here. I remember.
I've done that. Yeah, just ride them with your car and they just stop and.
Well, I remember as a kid, when I found out it was illegal, is because people would just go down back roads, have these big ass spotlights, shine them into a field at night. You get 15, 20 of them out there. Take a rifle. It's like shooting fish in a barrel.
Yeah.
So it's illegal.
Shooting deer in a field.
Yeah. So, but that's what he says they were doing.
Catch a deer?
As a kid, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I did as a drunk idiot once.
Oh, really?
I was like, let me out. I'm going to catch a deer.
Didn't go well. Nope. They're very fast.
They are. I thought I could, I was drunk.
They're very fast. I used to try to catch a rabbit in my backyard as a kid when I was really little.
I would do that.
There was always 3 or 4 rabbits.
Yep. Staying really still.
Never caught one.
Nope.
They're really fast, too.
They are.
It's weird how fast animals are.
I know.
How slow we are.
Do you think that would helped us become faster?
As drunk children. So, yeah, he says that, hey, we're out there doing that. We were doing that from 2 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Whatever time these murders stop.
What would be a good time for me to say I've been doing this? And Scott backed up the alibi. So the police, for their credit, I think, they don't immediately go, how a lot of times in a lot of cases, I don't know really so much ones we've covered, but a lot of cases, police kind of have a suspect that they like right from the get-go. And then kind of no matter what, they don't leave that suspect.
Yeah, they try to make the evidence fit that suspect. Yeah.
So these guys actually so they get this alibi. And they probably make a little tab well, let's check back on these guys. But they do go and they check into a guy named Frankie Ramos. He's the father of Madison. And him and...
All right, so I'm glad Ernest isn't the father. I was going to ask that.
Right, yeah.
He's a reindeer and the father of Madison.
Madison's mother was Victoria.
Yep. 20 years old.
Him and Victoria had kind of lived together for a little while, but they didn't have a great relationship.
I can't imagine Victoria was probably able to have a relationship with too many men.
Probably pretty awkward. Probably bad days.
Yeah. It's just so bad. It's so awful.
Police had even been out to their house before for domestic disturbances, I'm guessing. Frankie didn't even believe that Madison was his until paternity test proved it.
Frankie's almost as bad as name as Dale, though.
Like, Frank's good,
Yeah, but you're
but then if you're Frankie,
Yeah.
like, yeah, what are you doing?
You're a grown man.
What are you doing with your life?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't trust you.
He's avoiding children.
So his alibi was verified, though, and he was cleared. Then they look into another guy that Victoria had an on-again, off-again relationship with. This guy's name was Turner Higgins. And they had recently had a little bit of a falling out, but they looked into his stuff. He was good to go. He was cleared. So they turn back to Ernest.
Yep.
They start looking at him again. And they get search warrants for the residence he's in Cambria County, and for Scott's vehicle, the brother.
Yeah.
So in the vehicle, in Scott's trunk, they find a notebook, and in this notebook, in Scott's handwriting, it says, quote, "We were out spotting deer and coyotes." So, like, I don't know if
Definitely
Scott...
not murdering.
Like, did the guy want to just make sure he didn't want to forget?
Did
How hard is that alibi?
Maybe he's trying to plant evidence like, I left my diary in my truck.
I
You
guess.
only made one entry ever?
I would have loved
It was a really special day.
I don't know if that's the case. That'd be
Yeah.
hilarious to think. Like, it's just the first page.
Yeah, it's got a little
He
lock
bought the
on
notebook.
it.
It's got the receipt.
It's actually like a little girl's diary with like the little key and lock it, you know?
Yeah, I just find it crazy that, like,
Why would you write
you couldn't remember the alibi.
Yeah, spotlighting.
It was real easy. It wasn't even complicated. So they arrest Ernest and Scott. Scott is
But
arrested.
did they find other evidence that were able to arrest him? I mean,
Really
just be the notebook.
doesn't really say.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, I don't know. The notebook's pretty. It's pretty.
That's just what they were doing. They
pretty
were,
damning. I think. Like, why would
Yeah.
you write that?
I don't know. It's not legal to write, okay?
I guess. So, like, that's just what I'm reading. Is what they. That's the quote they used.
Uh-huh.
But I guess it could have been like a journal entry, like, "Me and Ernest went and spotted deer and coyote today. It was a good day." You know, maybe it was a full entry. I don't know. But they arrest him.
Okay.
Ernest, he contacts a lawyer, doesn't say anything, and he leaves with the lawyer. Scott, though, he stays behind, and he keeps trying to stick to that alibi. But then he is shown the crime scene photos of Jean and the girls, and he breaks the fuck down. Confesses to everything. Confesses to what he knows.
Yeah.
So he tells police that he drove Ernest to their home in the early morning of Christmas Eve 2002. He said that, I knew that Ernest bail said his conditions were that he couldn't be anywhere near the home, but I took him anyways. And he, something about, like, Ernest said he was just going to get his dog. He just wanted to go to the house and get his dog. Best I can tell, there wasn't a dog. So, like, I would think Scott would know that. Maybe not. I don't know how close these two guys are.
Sounds super smart.
Doesn't sound the brightest.
Probably the little brother, if I had to guess.
Scotty.
Yeah.
So he said they arrive around 4 a.m., about the time they think that Jean gets shot.
So what the fuck were they doing 2.5 hours away? They're probably drunk, too. I'm sorry. I mean, if they're 2 hours away, they decide at 2 a.m., they're like, hey, let's go on over and get this dog.
Right. Like,
I mean,
I need to go get my dog at
I
2
have
in
to
the morning.
imagine maybe I'm drinking or something, or
Probably.
if they're going that early, that this was the plan the whole time.
Or, like, I couldn't really find a lot about Scott. So, like, maybe, like, he's one of those, like, dudes that, like, Ernest bosses him around.
Yeah.
And Ernest might be like, hey, we're going here now. I don't know.
Like I said, if it's the little brother, older brother dynamic, that could be.
He apparently has some sense of wrong and right, though, because as soon as he saw what happened, he was like, all right, fuck.
He couldn't lie
yeah.
anymore.
He said that, so they get there. Ernest tells him to park about a block away and stay in the car. Never a good sign.
Yeah.
If
you hear gunshots, definitely not me.
Yeah, he grabs some stuff from the back seat, takes off towards the house. About 10 minutes later, he comes back, gets in the car, tells him to drive back to Cambria County, but not to their home, to drive a little bit further north out into the woods. Again,
Let's go spotlight
let's go
some more
spot
deer.
coyotes and deer.
Yeah.
According to Scott, Ernest was in a very agitated state when he came back, and wouldn't tell him what had happened.
Yeah.
So when they get to the woods out in Cambria County, Ernest leaves the car, walks into the woods with a pistol and a shotgun, and when he gets back, he doesn't have either of those anymore with him. So Scott actually went ahead and took the police out to that area, though, where they had stopped and Ernest left the guns. There's a pretty big search. It's looking like there's nothing out there, that Scott's full of shit.
Yeah, or maybe Ernest went back out and moved them.
Well, so as they're about to call it quits and move on to, something else, a cop looks down and he sees something kind of orange sticking out between some rocks. And he goes ahead and grabs it, and it's the pistol, and like the barrel is all rusted. So I don't know if the weather must have. I don't know how that exactly happens because I don't know how long of a time frame we're thinking. It's pretty tight time frame.
Yeah.
So I don't know how the barrel rusts. Unless it was already kind of shitty.
If it had blood on it or something, that might have helped.
That might have helped.
I don't know.
So police run the serial number.
I like how you just look down. Like, that's all you gotta do. Come on, cops, look down.
I mean, a lot of times I feel like cops just get lucky. Just get real lucky. He looks down. They run the serial number. The gun belongs to Ernest's mom's brother, so his uncle.
Yeah, he has access to it.
Yeah. Ballistics show...
Family, am I right?
Tell me about it. Ballistics show that this is the murder weapon. So, Ernest Jr. is charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder, and the state seeks the death penalty. Scott is charged as an accomplice and is held without bail. And Scott agrees to a plea deal, agrees to plead guilty in a plea deal. There's how I need to say that.
Yeah.
And he pleads guilty. Yeah, he pleads guilty to 3 counts of third-degree murder, and is given a 12 to 25-year sentence before he becomes eligible for parole. So I know we kind of talked last week about our feelings on the death penalty.
Oh yeah.
What do you think about that? So he's pretty involved, but not really
Scott,
involved.
Definitely, I don't think.
So 12 to 25 years seems like about the right thing to do.
That's really what happened. I mean, if it comes out that,
Ernest, he just drove him there.
Ernest could say that that's not what happened. If they, I'm sure if he was in there, they would have evidence of it.
So Scott's kind of just an idiot.
Yeah.
Taking along for the ride.
Yeah.
Should serve some time, though.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, to me, that sounds...
I'm with you. 12 to 25 is about...
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I would prefer to go to that 25.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give him the full...
Especially, too, if it helps him convict Ernest.
Yeah.
Because that's going to give the remaining family peace.
So,
hopefully.
While Ernest is in jail waiting for his trial...
Ernest goes to jail?
Ernest goes to jail. Ernest attempts to hire a hitman through another prisoner, a guy named James Meddings from West Virginia.
All right.
And he wants James to kill Frankie Ramos and make it look like a suicide and plant a note saying that he killed Jean, Victoria, and Izzy.
Yeah.
James tells the authorities.
Well, a prisoner he can't trust?
It's crazy, right? They get a hold of a DEA agent in West Virginia who poses as the hitman. And there's contact between him and Ernest.
Ernest, yeah.
Yeah, and there's actually a recording. I tried to find it.
Yeah.
Of Ernest basically just being like, "Yeah, I just want to get this taken care of," and they use a code word to discuss killing Frankie, and they use the code word tank.
Okay.
So basically, let me know when Tank is dead, whatever.
So when you take the trash out.
I'll get back to that here in a few minutes. So at trial, the 3 counts of murder are combined. Hold on, I just went all the way back to the beginning of the story. Where am I at here? At trial, the 3 counts of murder are combined with the sexual offenses and the solicitation to have Ramos killed.
Yeah.
So he's got a lot
going up against him.
Scott testifies for the prosecution, states that when Ernest, while he's testifying, he says that when Ernest came back home after the whole thing of he gets out on bail for sexual stuff. He immediately says, "I'm going to shoot Gene."
He's been talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then Scott goes on to describe the trip in a little bit more details. He says on December 24th, Ernest claims that he just wants to go get his dog. And then the trip, like they go to, like, there's some random shit that they do on this trip. They go to a gas station, and the surveillance video basically details their trip.
Yeah.
It catches them all over the place to back up what Scott says happened. So Scott says when they get in Middletown, Ernest tells him to stop the vehicle about a month away. And he says that Ernest tells him that he wants him to stop here because he wants to be able to go down the back road, back side of the house. Yeah, alley. Yeah. It's a good word for it. People should use that.
I'll make a call as soon as we're done.
So he parks the car. He waits for Ernest. About 10 minutes later, Ernest comes back. He's shaking, like we said before. Tells him, drive off into these fucking woods. And he says as they're driving, he kind of looks in the rearview mirror and he can see like a shotgun laying back there. Which I really don't know where he apparently never had to use the shotgun.
Yeah.
I guess it was just in case.
Yeah.
He sees Ernest leave the vehicle with the guns. And then when Ernest gets back, he tells him, here's what our alibi is. And I'm assuming at this point, Scott's like, let me write this down.
Oh, yeah.
Which I guess if you see your brother take some guns off into the woods, and this night has been what it is, you probably are kind of nervous. And you're like, let me write this shit down.
Maybe a little tired.
Drunk, like you said. Who knows what they were doing.
It's probably 6, 7 a.m. by now. If the killings happened at 4 a.m., it's 2.5 hour drive. I mean...
Yeah.
And they went past where they live. So this is 7, 8 a.m.
So Ernest and his lawyers try to get the testimony that was originally given by Victoria and Izzy about the sexual assault. They try to get that thrown out.
Because they're not around anymore.
Yeah. But since the theory that the prosecution has is that they were killed to prevent further testimony,
to hide this.
It's a part of the murder.
Yeah.
It's part of the case, so it stays.
Yeah.
So the hiring the hitman.
Overruled.
The hiring the hitman thing. Not Bret Hart.
Yeah.
Hiring a hitman. The defense, I love this. The defense tries to argue that, yes, Ernest did attempt to hire this guy to kill Frankie Ramos, but only because his wife and his 2 kids were killed, and he believed strongly it was Frankie.
Oh.
So it was just a revenge killing for him. He was trying to get vengeance. That didn't get bought.
Ernest gets vengeance.
So, creepy door noise.
Jesus
Dale's
Christ.
Here.
My heart just stopped.
So then, they're also trying to get the sexual offenses thrown out, and they finally do. He's finally acquitted of those because they can't. There really is no more. They can't get more testimony.
Yeah.
And he fought so hard for that because just in case he could win a appeal at some point to not get the death sentence and to get life with possibility of parole. It would look way better for him if he didn't also have sexual offenses.
Yeah, if he wasn't a sex offender.
So they do get rid of that, but he is sentenced to 3 death sentences.
Wow.
So
he killed him 3 times.
Yeah. He's had a ton of various appeals. He's had a lot of appeals. He is still on death row at this time. As of the time of this, that I found the information of this, the Pennsylvania's governor has a moratorium on executions. But old Ernest is sitting there on death row right now.
Ernest goes to death row?
Ernest goes to death row.
Good. Fuck that.
Yeah, fuck that dude. And even though they did try to, once he was acquitted of the sexual offense charges, they went the further step to try to get those charges taken off his criminal arrest record, like expunge those. And they would not go for that. They were like, "No, you're keeping that label though.
Yeah,
like we're gonna show that you were arrested for it."
Yeah.
So, which is a nice little fuck you.
See, if he does get out and gets into like general population,
yeah,
he's still
it's
gonna
still
be
there.
as like he fucked his daughters and killed them, and
Right.
he's just a piece of shit.
So yeah, he's had a ton of appeals broken. I showed you the picture of the guy.
Oh, creepy as fuck.
Creepy looking guy. Real piece of shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, man,
I wonder if Scott's out by now. If he had 12
Scott,
to 25.
12 to 25.
He could be out now.
Yeah, I'm going to kind of...
Hopefully she went to the grandma, or I guess the great-grandma, in this case, since
So let me see
grandma
here.
was actually killed, too.
Yeah, it doesn't really... He's still... I think he's still in there.
Okay.
So...
Learning his lesson.
I mean, yeah, he needs to be in there for a while. If this is him... Let me see here.
I mean, he probably, he could have stopped it. He could have just not drove him.
Yeah, I'd definitely say that's a younger brother.
Yeah.
Right?
Little Scotty.
Yeah.
Ginger fuck.
He looks sad.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Kind of hope they both die.
The whole thing's sad.
Yeah. Pretty awful story. Christmas Eve.
You did it again, pal.
Did it again, man.
Yeah.
Before we go to an ad break, take an ad break here. What's your any more thoughts on this one?
I know last week, like you said, we talked about the death penalty, but I wouldn't mind if that guy got killed, by lethal injection. I mean, he's just a piece of shit.
I wanted to ask you, and this, do not take this as a personal, me trying to be my side is right. I just kind of curious about this, and I think this would be a question that I like to ask a lot of people that are against the death penalty. So, unless you're close to the case, right? Unless you're a family member, a friend, somebody very invested in this case. If who were we talking about last week?
The daughter and the boyfriend.
The daughter and the boyfriend.
Yeah.
So you don't know them from any other stranger, right? So if I tell you on a Friday, these two people are in prison, and then I tell you that Friday that they get life in prison, no death penalty though. Mm-hmm. So then, that's on a Friday. Then, let's say, in an alternate universe, I tell you they're in prison and they get the death penalty. And I tell you that on 2 Fridays in different universes. On Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you don't know these people.
Yeah.
How much do you really think about that, though? Does it mean anything to you past that going forward? Do you ever think about that again?
Probably not. I mean,
probably not.
If it's not related to me, or it's like you said, just I don't know their crimes. Or
I find it very funny that people and again, not saying you because but
I'm not definite one way or another on anything.
Yeah.
So I would like to think that the death penalty doesn't. It's like I said, case by case.
Right. I get we have way too many people that get killed on death row that were later proven innocent. That happens way too fucking much.
Yeah.
And it needs to not happen.
Yeah.
And we get way too many people that get maybe get the death sentence for crimes that maybe shouldn't warrant the death penalty. I get all that. But this guy's case, Ernest.
Yeah.
Let's fucking kill Ernest.
Yeah.
Why?
There's no redeeming quality.
You always get the group of people outside the prison that have the stop, end whatever. And I'm but do we need to end it?
Do you know what he did? Maybe show him the crime scene photos.
Can we not just let Ernest get killed and then go about just go on with our day? I don't know.
Yeah.
We're not gonna win. We're not gonna settle anything.
Either death penalty or life in prison. Either way, he's not gonna be out in public, or out in the world.
I love that he thought that he would possibly win an appeal at some point and wanted to get the sexual charges just because he really had it in his head that he was probably going to be able to get an appeal to no longer be on death row, but also to get parole.
Yeah. You killed,
you killed your kids and your mom and your wife.
He did it, yeah.
Yeah.
Piece of shit.
All right, let's go to an ad.
All right.
What an incredible ad break. It's really not. It's not good. We need to record it, re-record
It
it.
makes me want to start a podcast.
If at some point we will re-record it. So
And it won't be from the bottom of a trash can.
it won't be. Yeah, we only
It's
had
like I trapped you in a well, and I was like, "Do it, record the ad."
we only had one mic at the time. Sound wasn't great. But I think once we do re-record one, it replaces the old one in the podcast. I think.
I hope.
So if you're listening to this like way later, you may have no idea what we're talking about right now. You may have heard an awesome ad.
If it's like 2035 and you're listening to this,
Welcome.
tell me how I died.
Yeah. How did I go? Was it peaceful, or was it in a blaze of glory, stealing back my vehicle?
Or what if they're telling the story about it on a future podcast?
If it was Dale, for the record, I want Dale dead.
Yeah.
All right. If he killed me is what I'm saying. Not like me right now.
Inject him right before you put him on the electric chair.
I'm not saying me right now in 2020 want Dale dead.
Yeah.
I'm saying 2035.
Yeah, 2035 after Dale kills you.
Me that has been killed by Dale.
Yeah.
Me, I want him dead.
Snuff him out.
Right.
All right.
So what do we got coming up? We got the best segment in all of podcasting. We got Joel's Feel Goods.
Feels good. All right, another good feel good.
I could see Bo Jackson running circles around everybody.
Yep.
And Tecmo bowling his way into the end zone right there.
Feels good.
Feels good.
Sounds good.
Bo knows.
All right.
You can say it with anything.
This week, say it with Dolly Parton, because that's what this week's Feel Good's about. Good old Dolly Parton, and she's always made me feel good. That's it. No,
Is that the Feel Goods? That's the whole thing?
I think most of the world loves Dolly Parton for two very big reasons.
Right.
Two very big, unforgettable reasons.
Okay.
Her music career in Dolly World.
Of course, yes.
Or is it Dollywood?
Dollywood.
Dollywood. What would Dollywood do?
That's not how you should have said that.
No. But Dolly Parton's in
She's
the
had
news.
a big resurgence here
Yeah.
recently. Well deserved.
Huge.
Big old resurgence.
But she's in the news because she saved the little girl's life. Did you see that?
That's what I knew we were talking about.
Okay, I didn't know if you saw
As
it
soon
or
as you
not.
showed me that it was Dolly Parton, I was like,
Well, I went down a deep Dolly hole, so I got a couple more after this one. That's not funny. It was a deep, deep Dolly hole. But she saved the
She
little
is from the
girl's
holler.
life. She was working on her Netflix special, Christmas on the Square, when she jumped into action, saving the life of a 9-year-old girl, an actress named Talia Hill. She's an actress and a dancer. She's on the little movie there on Netflix.
Why's it got to be a little movie? Why you got to demean it like that?
Because it's Christmas, man. It's not going to matter in like 2 weeks.
True. Fact.
Not for another
It's
50
also like
weeks.
a musical special.
Yeah.
Those don't
Yeah.
last.
To me, it's like, oh, cute.
We're
It's
probably
like,
completely wrong
it's
about
so
that.
little and sweet.
People
But-
probably love them.
Hey, it's supposed to be a feel good.
I'm sorry.
God
Go on,
damn
man.
it. So in an interview, Talia revealed the incident. Like, Dolly didn't even talk about it. The little girl came out.
Dolly doesn't need that kind of. She doesn't need to talk about shit.
Talia was quoted as saying, "We were on set, and I was at the hot chocolate station," which I want to be an actor. You're on set at the hot chocolate station? Sign me up. And they said, "Go back to your beginning positions."
Dolly's musical or movie sets are just magical places.
Yeah.
With hot chocolate stations.
Where I had marshmallows and like, I want some hot chocolate now. So Talia goes on to say, "There was a vehicle moving and I was walking and then suddenly somebody grabbed me and pulled me back and it was Dolly Parton." Talia says she was in shock after the incident, but she heard Parton tell her, "Well, I am an angel, you know," referring to her role on the film. It doesn't call the film little in the news.
Good.
And the little girl said Dolly hugged her tight and shook her and kept saying, "I saved your life."
Little weird.
I just imagine her just, I saved your life.
A little aggressive.
But yeah, she, Dolly Parton saved
It reminds me of the, I do not remember what scene it is, but like, it's Billy Madison. When he grabs the little chubby kid's cheeks.
Don't say that.
It just, "I saved your life."
So that was Dolly Parton saved the little girl's life.
Good for Dolly Parton.
And so like I said, I went down a deep Dolly hole.
Okay.
I always keep saying it. I googled.
I didn't like that you looked at me in the eyes when you said it. That was what bothered me.
I googled Dolly Parton headlines, and there's a lot of good ones out there.
All
There's
right.
nothing negative about Dolly Parton.
No.
First off, you're not gonna find
And
any scandalous shit on her.
Besmirch Dolly Parton's name,
Yeah.
I will fight you.
I will too, Dale. So Dolly helped fund the COVID vaccine. Did you know that?
Yep.
She donated $1 million to scientists who worked on the vaccine, and they said they were able to develop it 10 times faster because of that money, probably.
Said vaccine.
Oh, that's her
vaccine,
song.
vaccine. I can't sing like Dolly.
Ugh.
Thank you. Thank you, man.
That doesn't feel bad.
That doesn't feel bad.
But yeah, they were able to develop the vaccine 10 times faster. And another,
I don't know if that's true, but okay.
the scientist said it. It was on a news story in the internet,
All right, well,
quoted by a scientist.
I don't know if
Why are you ruining my feel goods right now?
I don't know if they did the research.
All right,
If they really looked that
I'm
into
deep
it.
down in my Dolly hole.
Stop saying Dolly hole.
You're trying to ruin them.
You're ruining it with
All
your
right, so
Dolly
last
hole
one,
talk.
all right, Dolly Parton also supports the Black Lives Matter movement.
Yeah.
'Cause she's awesome. The moment. It's more than a moment. It's a movement. But I just like the quote that they used in the news article. She's quoted as saying, Dolly Parton, "Of course Black Lives Matter. Do we think our little white asses are the only ones who matter? No."
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, and that's why Dolly Parton's awesome.
She always has been great.
That and those awesome cans.
There you go. Beans. Yeah, that was a feel good.
Dolly Parton.
Dolly Parton's always good. I don't mean it this way. I'm saying, I was gonna say Dolly Parton's always good for some feel goods.
Yeah.
And I do not mean that in a weird sexual way.
How would you mean it?
I mean that in she's a delightful person.
Uh-huh.
Always funny.
Yeah.
In every interview she's ever been in.
She seems really
she's
sweet
fucking
and genuine.
down to earth.
Yep.
Country is shit.
Obviously.
Music's great.
Yep.
Yeah. Very attractive lady though. Like she's
Big
like
old
70
boobs.
something.
Yeah.
I think we
74,
said,
75. You think I'd know with all the when I was deep in that Dolly
Still
hole.
fucking drop dead gorgeous.
Yeah.
Apparently he's gonna be on the Playboy cover.
I don't think
Or
it's-
she said she'd be
she
down
would do
for
it. Yeah. But I think Playboy's like just online now.
That's probably true.
Which naked women online, yeah, right. I wish.
Good luck finding that.
I wish.
Give me a second to Google something for you. I'm gonna blow your mind.
As long as, okay.
Don't say what you're
Okay.
thinking.
I won't. That's my feel goods. Dolly Parton.
I liked it. Anytime we can talk about Dolly Parton, I'm down for it. Any old country, if you want to talk about it, let's do that.
I'd
Hey.
rather not.
We're on social media.
Yep.
Did you know that?
As the podcast.
As ourselves.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm on there too.
We're on Twitter. If you want to follow us, you can follow Joel at the Joel MG.
I'm private, so but I'll let you. Just come and knock on my door.
You just got to be like, middle-aged mediocre sent me.
Yeah.
And you can follow me on Twitter at
Just
Born.
don't work where I work, and I'll let you follow me.
Good call. Good call. You can follow me on Twitter at Born Into Filth.
I've been thinking about following you on Twitter.
It'd be nice if you did.
Okay.
I think it'd be,
Maybe for
be
Christmas.
friendly of you.
Maybe for Christmas. Next year.
Okay. We'll see what Santa brings. I was thinking about this earlier. Like, Twitter's a weird place.
Oh, yeah.
Like, do you know about, like, Twitter communities?
No.
So, like, I don't, like, there's, like, basically anything you can think of. There's a community of those, for those people, for people that are into whatever that community is.
Yeah.
And, like, they all follow each other. They all have their own little things. Like, they all have their own little languages, basically.
Okay.
Like, there's a whole,
I'm obviously not cool enough for
there's a
any
whole
of this.
black Twitter.
Okay.
Like, there's just a whole side of Twitter, like, it's called Black Twitter.
Uh-huh.
I mean, there's just a bunch of shit. But there's also, like any political side you're on, or,
Sure.
like, little tiny pieces of political. There's a whole community for that. So, like, I was thinking about how, like, if you follow me.
I
like,
follow you. That was just a joke.
My Twitter, like, I can't imagine being a person that's in one of those communities and strictly making your Twitter like, this is what I talk about.
Yeah.
And a lot of people I follow do that. It's
I don't
like
that.
24/7. We talk about this issue
Yeah.
and nothing else.
Yeah. I see that some.
Yeah, it's like I was just thinking about how mine is like super political, and then here's me losing bets.
Yep.
Here's some sports talk. Here's a dumb thing I thought of.
Yep.
But then other people I see are like serious.
All serious.
Yeah, it's weird.
I don't like being serious.
Yeah, I was
My
just thinking
Twitter's
about
like
if
just-
people follow me, if they're into that kind of thing, if it
Uh-huh.
annoys them that like people don't stick to something.
You're all over the place.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how our minds are. That's how my mind is.
Yeah, I can't focus on one thing for
Yeah.
long. I get really into something
Uh-huh.
for like a few weeks, and then it's always there, but then I suddenly focus on something else
Yeah.
while I keep that one thing still there. But then I also want to talk about this thing.
It's like at home where like I'm watching TV, playing the Switch, and looking on my phone.
That's a lot.
That's a lot, but I mean I just try to keep my mind friggin' active and kind of distracted, I guess. 'Cause
Yeah,
I don't
distractions
wanna,
are good.
Yeah, like the more shit that's on that I'm looking at, like the less I have to think and deal with the shit going on in my head.
You're big. You're big Animal Crossing
Oh man,
person, right? Can you?
I had to get some in before I came over here. I got off work, took a nap, played some Animal Crossing, came over here to record.
Can random people find you on that? Like, how does that work?
They can, like, if someone follows me on Twitter and wants to, I can put a code out. I can open my gates and put a code out. Hey, you asked, okay? Don't start scoffing at this shit, all right?
I wasn't scoffing. I was
I'm
laughing.
Animal Crossing for life. I've never played it before the Switch. I played it to get close to Lily, my daughter, because she has an island. She comes over to my island. It's something
Islands,
we
yeah,
can, something
yeah.
we can do together. But I have like 250 hours into my island now.
Okay.
Like I have a wrestling
Way more
ring.
time than you put in your own life.
Way more. But that's the thing. Like I can't fix anything in my life.
Right.
I cannot fix a single thing about my life. So I go on there, and it's like I'm in control of everything. Like, oh, I want to put a tiki torch right here next to this table, and like I just
You can get a tiki torch.
like for me explaining it to people, it just sounds like the dumbest. Like I have friends who just give me so much shit, call it a waste of time. You know, it's like, well, it's not really a waste of time because like it's just. It's like how I relax. It's how I unwind. You know, and a lot of times like I can just play it, it's Switch, so it's handheld. I watch TV and I play it. You know.
I feel like if you enjoy something and it's not hurting anybody,
Yeah.
nothing
That's
like
how I am.
nothing
Like,
that you enjoy that doesn't hurt other people or intrude on other people's lives
Yeah.
is a bad waste of time.
live and let live.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I really enjoy it. But yeah, people can, if they become my friends on Nintendo, then I can open my gates to friends. And all
Okay.
friends can come over. Or it gives you a code, and I can put that code out there, open up my island, and people can come see it.
Well, there you
I
guys
have a
go.
4-star island.
Is-
all right.
what, out of 5?
Out of 5.
Okay.
So
I got a 50.
I was a 3, and I just overhauled everything, fell down to a 2-star island. Those were some dark days. Those are some dark days. I try not to think about the 2-star days anymore because I'm back
I
up
hear
to
ya.
4. Because I put the work in, and I'm back up to 4 stars now.
Man, I think you're a 5-star man.
Thanks, buddy.
I think you're gonna be there soon.
Oh man, I hope so.
But yeah, if you guys play Animal Crossing, follow Joel on Twitter, get a hold of him.
Yeah.
Go to his island. You guys can.
Sure.
That'd be cool.
Yep. At the Joel MG.
Yeah, on Twitter, and then he'll hook you up with Animal Crossing
Let's
codes.
Animal Cross together.
If you want to follow us as our show on Twitter, you can do that at Mid-Age Mediocre. Middle-Aged Mediocre was already taken.
Yep.
It was one person had it. They made one tweet that said
Like 10 years ago.
Something about the worst thing to be in life is middle-aged and mediocre, and I stand by that.
Yeah.
That is a good quote. I wish
Maybe we went back in the past with a time machine and we
made
did
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was from we were black ladies in the past, apparently. then. But yeah, you can follow us on Twitter at Mid-Age Mediocre, MIDAGE Mediocre. You can follow us on Facebook, Facebook.com/middle-aged and mediocre. And you can follow us on Instagram at middle-aged and mediocre. We'd also love if you submitted your own stories to us. You can email us those at middleagedmediocre@gmail.com, and in the subject, just whatever, my story, whatever you want to put. But if you got paranormal stories, anything weird happened to you, if you got weird crime shit that you know about,
Confess a murder.
if you want to confess to something, let us know. We've done one listener submitted story so far, a couple episodes back. We'd love to do more.
List how many toilets were in the house.
Joel was very particular about how many toilets you can have in a house. I've never met somebody so involved and invested in toilets. I used to live in an apartment with 2 toilets. Does that bother you?
Wow.
It was 1.5, technically. I mean, 2 toilets were in there, but it was like a 1.5 bath.
Yeah. I've
Which is
seen
weird.
those.
But yeah, so next
It's
week,
just a closet with a toilet.
this episode that you're listening to right now, of course, will be made available as of the 21st. We will be back with a new episode on December 28th. And I believe I'm going to make that one something possibly paranormal.
All right, cool.
Or weird.
Yeah.
Something strange and unusual. Which we do that here too. We talk about paranormal things. We talk about UFOs, cults.
Yeah.
You heard the intro.
I did.
You know what we're all about.
I've been here for most of them.
You've been here for a lot of them.
Yeah, a lot of them.
Except for the secret ones I record that
Yeah.
you don't know about.
You just use my. We always say that I have that voice, the little. You know where I'm.
The soundboard?
Yeah, sure.
I have
yeah.
a Joel soundboard.
Yeah,
I still have it. I have the
my
file.
reactions.
Yeah.
Yep. You can do a whole episode.
This whole episode's been that.
Uh-huh.
Joel's not. He hasn't been here the whole time.
Sure. Yeah? Oh, wow. Jesus. Ugh. Bye. Oh.
And
He shot me. He didn't, though. I was
yeah.
saved by Jesus.
Man, it didn't shoot.
Don't look
Damn
down
it.
the barrel of a...
It's a Nerf gun.
I know, but still.
If you didn't like this one, if you hated this episode, we're sorry. We'll try to do better next time.
Yeah. Go fuck yourself, Dale.
Until then, other than Dale number 3, the Intimidator, ain't never been no good Dales.